I've developed an Oscar Party Fantasy League. This allows you to set up an Oscar party. I'm going to show you how it's done right here. So what we do is we're going to name our Oscar party, and we're just going to call this Internet. You'd call it like after your street name or your company name or your group of friends name or whatever you want to do. I'm going to put my name in. And this will send an email to me to keep me updated about what's happening in the party. So now I get to choose which categories that I want my party to contain. Some people want all of the categories. You just select all 24 and then all of them go automatically in. But most people want to select just the categories that they find interesting to them. Let's go through original, cinematography, costume design, editing, makeup, music, production design. That's all I want. So this is now the list of all of the topics that are going to be in our party. Now, because I've already entered my information in, I can just go pick who I think is going to win. The numbers that show up here are the Las Vegas odds. So I'm just going to pick what I think is the winners that... So we're just going to pick who we think might be able to win. So here, for Best Supporting Actress, the assumption is that Anne Hathaway is going to win. So if you pick any of the others, you're going to have a large return on your bet. But let's assume she's going to win that. Let's pick one here. And again, Best Actor, there's a lock for Daniel Day-Lewis. If you pick anybody else, you're going to have a large return. So there's my picks there. And I am going to close out the session. It's automatically put into the database. I don't need to keep this list. That's not important to me. So here is the email that's generated by the Oscar Fantasy Party. And what you do is you forward this email off to whoever you want to be part of your party. So you would just simply forward and then send, type in the names of all the people that you want to be part of your party. They'll get an email with this in it. So you might want to clean it up and just sort of, if you delete that off, and just say, welcome to the Oscar party. You've been invited by the person who set up the party. They can click there to enter their selections, or they can click to see everybody else's selections. So that what we can do now is, if we want to see everybody's selections, we click on that, and there's a listing of who's entered into the party so far. So somebody's received your email, and they can click to enter their own selections, or they can see everybody else's. So we're going to go in. So the name of the person is typed in, and they start their selections. It goes through the list of the categories that you included in your party, and so the person can make their own picks of who they think is going to win each of the categories. That's their list. So we're going to put another person's selections in, because this email would have been forwarded to them, and so let's enter another person's selections. So now we can click to see everybody's selections, and this now gives us a list of all the people who will have entered in their choices. we can also see the scores. Now, none of the categories have been picked yet. We'll go through a scenario where I'll pretend to pick the categories and we'll see how the scores are adjusted. We can see everybody's picks here. That Bob Denver for Best Actress picked this person, Best Actor, Best Director, but there are no Oscar winners yet. The returns are after a few categories come in. There are a total of 15 categories in this party. After a few of them come in, for every category, there's $10 returns, and it'll tell you how much your $10 will return. We can also go look at the list. This is just a list of all the categories that have been announced and their winners, but there's none there, obviously. And this is back to the list of who's chosen what. And that's in case somebody goes, what did I pick for Best Actor? And you look up their name when you're doing the party. And they can look up anybody else's because they have that in their email. Okay, here we have a list of all of the categories, and as the night goes on, I'll be entering, as soon as the winner is announced, I'll be entering that into the listing. So let's say the winner for Best Sound Mixing is announced, and it's Les Mis. Let's say the sound editing is Life of Pi. Now these are all getting put in here. Since our party never had any of those in them, when we go to the scores, there's still 0 of 15. We have to go to some of the categories that are part of our party. So let's go do that. Let's go say the Best Supporting Actor is Tommy Lee Jones. Best Supporting Actress is Anne Hathaway. We're going to hit a refresh here, and we can see right away that our party has started. Gladys Knight has nothing right because she's picked Christopher Waltz, and it was Tommy Lee Jones, and she picked Sally Field, so she's got no wins, whereas Bob Denver picked Tommy Lee Jones. So he's got a return on his Vegas odds. So $20 he'd be up right now based on the two categories, and this one's also up based on the two picks. So this number is just to show what if you bet $10 on every single so the two categories, if would be $20 in bets so far, that returns this much money for Vegas odds based on those picks if they would actually win. Again, I'm just guessing at winners here. So we can also look that so far we've had these two topics from our categories from our party, and that those are the winners in each one. That way, if somebody says who won for Best Actor in our party, you can just take a look up in this list, and then we go back to the full list of who picked what. So we're going to go through and finish picking this whole party, assuming that we're just fast forwarding the Oscars. Now some of these have won, and that's because there is no Las Vegas betting odds on the Best Musical Score. I don't know why they didn't have it, but some of the categories didn't have any betting odds. And the Best Picture, in my guess, becomes Margot. So now we do a refresh. And of course, during the whole party, you can refresh at any time. As soon as a new winner is set in that you've got as part of your party, you can do a refresh and see who's done well. So Bob Denver obviously has done very well based on the party. It's a completed party. His $150 would have returned $183. For Jeff with 7 also would have returned $163, and for Gladys Knight only getting 3 right would have returned $40.40. So it shows that Vegas is going to win out most of the time. Well, there's a few victories, but there's enough of a loss here to cover it. There's a list from our party of what was selected in the order of as the party went on. Since its best picture was last, it chose that list last. Back to the full list of what was picked, and back to the score. So just keep refreshing this, and it'll show you who's in the lead. It'll automatically order it by how many you got right. That's checkmark 7 right out of the total of 15.